A lot of the racism in our community is based upon the house Negroes versus the field Negroes. And because they were mixed, black and white, they have the privilege of working in the house as servants, cooks, maids, etc. But if you were dark, you worked in the field from sun up to sundown.
The man is trash. I'm just... period. I'm not a Tyler Perry fan, so this is what I got to say. It's funny how he got all this money to do everything but the right thing.
Bill Duke just spilled major tea on Hollywood's shady underbelly, and he didn't hold back when it came to calling out the rise of Tyler Perry. His revelations came with a serious warning for up-and-coming black actors chasing the spotlight. Fame comes with a steep price in Tinseltown, and it's not all glitz and glam, so what exactly did Duke say? Back in 2018, during a raw interview with Film Courage, the legendary actor and director broke it down with brutal honesty. He sounded the alarm for young black talent, making it clear that Hollywood isn't a game for the faint-hearted. Duke didn't sugarcoat a thing. Instead, he laid it all out like a seasoned vet who's seen way too much. He compared the industry to a ruthless game of strategy. You better be playing chess, he warned, because out here most people are only playing checkers. That was just the start. Duke painted a gritty picture of rejection, betrayal, and constant self-doubt, stuff most newcomers never see coming.
So betrayal happens all the time. Betrayal, rejection, and this is part of our industry.
But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Duke also dropped gems about finding your own path. He urged rising stars to tap into their inner strength, stay confident, and push the boundaries with fresh ideas and fearless creativity. He even kicked things off with some jaw-dropping stats. Only 20% of actors managed to snag regular gigs through SAG or AFTRA. That's a cold truth, and Duke made sure no one walked away from that interview without feeling it. Out of all those actors grinding in the industry, only 10% make it past the six-figure mark, raking in more than $100,000 a year. That stat alone shows how cutthroat the game really is. So many roll into Hollywood full of dreams and hype, only to get hit with wave after wave of rejection that crushes their spirit and shatters their confidence.
You're coming in here with hope and dreams, right? Along with thousands of other people that look as good as you on the same day you're coming.
Duke didn't shy away from the emotional damage that kind of constant rejection can do. He spoke with real empathy, saying that being turned down day after day for years can break even the strongest people down. Confidence fades, self-worth takes a nosedive, and before you know it, you're questioning if you're even good enough to be seen. Some fall into dark places trying to numb that pain. And Duke admitted he wasn't immune to it either. He talked about battling some unhealthy habits himself early in his career, but he didn't stop there. He made sure to shine a light at the end of the tunnel. Duke spoke on the power of healing, urging actors to find peace through things like meditation, reflection, and building themselves up from the inside out. Instead of waiting for someone to hand them a chance, he told them to make their own lane. That kind of mindset, he said, could be the game changer. In today's world, the gatekeepers don't hold all the power anymore. With podcasts, YouTube series, and other online platforms blowing up, actors can now showcase their talent without waiting for approval from anyone.
You don't have to wait to be discovered. You can put podcasts and webisodes up.
In another conversation, Duke peeled back even more layers, breaking down how raw talent, smart business moves, and understanding the industry all come together. His advice was straight up and real. Know your worth, master your craft, and learn the business, too. Duke made it loud and cleared aloud in Hollywood. You need strategy, connections, and a rock-solid game plan if you want to stand out in a sea full of hungry dreamers. He smashed the fairy tale that being gifted automatically means stardom. In this business, talent without direction is like having a car with no engine. It looks good, but it ain't going anywhere. You've got to have a mission, a path, Duke insisted. He wasn't just talking ambition. He meant cold, calculated vision. And he didn't dance around the dirtier side of the industry either. Duke straight up said that in this game, people trade favors, cut shady deals, and lean heavily on who they know, not always what they can do. He warned that walking in blind, thinking talent will carry you, is just setting yourself up for disappointment. Then came the joy. Duke compared the industry to a game of pimping and hoe to break down the twisted power plays happening behind the scenes. It was raw, but it hit hard because, in his view, too many folks get used up, tossed aside, or manipulated for someone else's gain. But here's the twist. Duke believed there's a way to flip it. He said the smart ones learn how to use that stage of being exploited as a stepping stone. Agents, managers, and producers are out there scouting for who they can mold and market. So Duke urged artists to take control. Make sure your talent works for you, not against you. And then he dropped another uncomfortable truth. Even beyond the racism baked into the system, colorism runs deep to an end. Sometimes it's coming from inside the community. He pointed out the painful reality that black actors often face bias from black directors themselves. Now, that's a betrayal that cuts deep. Duke got real in a powerful interview where he peeled back the layers of colorism in the black community, and he didn't hold anything back. He traced this deep-rooted issue all the way back to slavery, breaking down how division was deliberately planted to keep the community fractured. He started by explaining the brutal divide between house slaves and field slaves. Slave masters often forced themselves on enslaved women, and the children born from that abuse, usually lighter-skinned, were given house roles like cooking or cleaning. Meanwhile, darker-skinned slaves were stuck working in the brutal heat, doing back-breaking labor from dawn to dusk. That twisted power play planted resentment that's still being felt today.
And the house Negroes were the ones who Massa had sex with a slave, and she'd have a baby. And because they were mixed, black and white, they have the privilege of working in the house as servants, cooks.
A lot of the racism in our community is based upon slavery principles, Duke explained. He said that the lighter-skinned folks or house NS had privileges that set them apart, and that created a war. The field NS weren't fond of the house NS, and the house NS weren't fond of the field N********************. It was a cycle of tension born from inequality, not choice. Fast forward to now, and Duke pointed out how this painful legacy is still showing up in everyday life. Just scroll through social media hashtags like #TeamLightSkin and #TeamDarkSkin, full of arguments between light and dark-skinned black women, fighting over beauty standards that were never created for them in the first place. Each of these tags has over 300,000 members. What makes it even wilder? Duke noted how society now praises features rooted in black beauty. I have white female friends, he said, who chase the same features that some in our own community used to reject. He called out the double standard, pointing to how many white women now strive for full lips, curves, and melanin-rich aesthetics while within the community. Those same traits are often criticized. And let's be clear, this isn't the first time Hollywood has had to face these kinds of accusations. The problem has been simmering for years. Duke just brought it right back into the spotlight. A resurfaced interview recently set off alarms across the industry, and this time, it's none other than Chris Rock throwing major shade at Tyler Perry. The bold comedian didn't tiptoe around his words when he suggested that Perry's block movies might be pushing colorist narratives without even realizing it. That comment lit up the entertainment world with fierce debates about diversity, image, and who gets to play what roles in black storytelling. Rock dropped a bomb during a raw conversation about what Tupac Shakur's life might have looked like if he was still alive. His words were brutal and biting. Tupac might have been a political leader, but then again, Tupac might be in a Tyler Perry movie right now, Rock joked. He continued, Tupac might be the bad dark-skinned boyfriend in a Tyler Perry movie. That one line sent shockwaves, and folks started looking real closely at Perry's patterns. Rock pointed out a familiar setup in many of Perry's films. A woman stuck in a toxic relationship, usually with a dark-skinned man who's violent, controlling, or just no good, and then in comes a lighter-skinned guy painted as the gentle hero who saves her. This formula got a lot of people talking. Critics argued that, even if unintentional, this kind of storytelling feeds into ugly stereotypes, like associating darker skin with danger and lighter skin with love and safety. And in a community still healing from the scars of colorism, that it hits different. Rock isn't the only one speaking up. One user on Twitter called it out directly, saying Perry's work consistently shows a clear bias in the way characters are cast and portrayed.
Man, it's trash. I'm just... period.
Her post gained traction fast, with many chiming in about similar frustrations. While Perry's movies continue to break box office records, this conversation has fans wondering, is there a deeper bias baked into the scripts? But the criticism didn't stop with colorism, it went way deeper. That same outspoken Twitter user stirred even more controversy when she claimed Tyler Perry might actually have a deep-rooted fear of white people, and that this fear could be shaping how he writes and creates. As wild as that sounds, her comment struck a nerve. More and more black actors started speaking up, sharing their own uneasy experiences and flat out saying they wouldn't rush to work with Perry again. One actor didn't hold back openly, stating they had no interest in collaborating with him ever again. And apparently, they weren't alone.
And they said they loved the script, but they wasn't sure how the film was going to turn out, so they passed.
Now, let's be clear, Perry's rise from small Atlanta theaters to becoming a Hollywood heavyweight is no small feat. The man built an empire off the strength of media and kept climbing from there. But even with all that success, his journey's been messy, filled with controversy and behind-the-scenes drama. And when it comes to making it in Hollywood, folks sometimes bend the rules to stay on top. Perry's no exception. After killing it at the box office, he jumped into TV with hits like House of Pain, which had fans locked in. But just when things were heating up with a major syndication deal and a new spin-off called Meet the Browns, everything blew up. Here's what went down. For writers working on the show reportedly asked for union contracts instead of negotiating. Perry let all 4 of them go just like that. That move sparked major backlash, putting a spotlight on Hollywood's long labor issues. Writer Terry Jackson told Deadline, "We were good enough to create over 100 episodes, but now, when it comes to reaping the benefits of the show being syndicated and having other spin-offs from it, he decides to let us go, unless we accept our horrible offer." And Perry's response? He brushed it off and doubled down, saying he now writes everything himself. No writer's room, no collaboration, just him. That left a lot of folks in the industry wondering, is that creative control or something else entirely? One thing's for sure behind the spotlight, Perry's empire has stirred up a storm of debate, and it doesn't look like that heat is dying down anytime soon. But Perry's drama with the unions didn't stop at the writer's room. Things got even messier in 2015. That year, major unions like SAG-AFTRA and Actors Equity took a bold step. They straight up banned their members from performing in Perry's touring stage play Medea on the Run. Why? Because Perry's production company reportedly refused to sign union contracts. While he may have been focused on cutting costs and keeping full control, the backlash was real and loud. Even though Perry was riding high with the success of House of Pain and Meet the Browns, the criticism just kept rolling in. Acclaimed black journalist and culture critic Jamila Lemieux came through swinging with an open letter that shook things up. She didn't hold back at all, publishing the raw critique through NPR, where it reached a massive audience. In her fiery letter, Lemieux laid bare her discomfort with how Perry uses stereotypes in his storytelling. Her words were sharp, emotional, and cut deep into the ongoing conversation around how black characters, especially women, are portrayed on screen. She wrote, through her, that country has laughed at one of the most important members of the black community. Mother dear, beloved matriarch, I just can't quite get with seeing Medea, played by a 6'3" man with prosthetic breasts flopping in the wind. Our mothers and grandmothers deserve much more than that. Heck, our fathers and grandfathers deserve more. Lemieux even gave Perry credit where it was due, acknowledging, "Mr. Perry, you have told the Hollywood old guard to kiss your backside, and I appreciate that, brother." But then came the dagger. She pointed out that many black viewers shared the same critiques as the white critics Perry often brushed off. That truth hit hard, and she wasn't the only one calling him out. Legendary director Spike Lee also chimed in with his own sharp take, slamming Perry's use of what he saw as harmful stereotypes.
A lot of stuff that's on today is coonery buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.